Hello and welcome back. Hope you're good, doing well, and had a great holidays. So just let me know that you see my screen and the sound is perfect. And hope you hear me. Thank you very much. Okay, so thank you, and I hope that you are doing really well. Okay, so we had some good movements last week, the first week of the 2022. All right, it was really bad for the crypto market. And I have told you that in my last weekly market outlook that this is going to come. If you remember that, you remember my Bitcoin chart and Ethereum chart, and I was telling you that crypto market is going to get hit, all right? And the reason for that was very simple, all right? And the reason, I hope that you guys know that the reason was the higher inflation, which was causing the cryptocurrencies to just keep pushing more higher. And since, since November, Fed said that they are going to contain the inflation. Since then, cryptocurrencies are not doing well, right? And we are having, bad couple of months, we can say that. Since November, crypto market is struggling. And Bitcoin topped at almost 1.3 trillion, and since then it's dropping, all right, and has lost almost 500 billion market cap, and now is around 800 billion. All right, so we can say that more than 65% market value lost on Bitcoin. Okay, and is there potential for this to keep dragging more lower? Yes, there is potential. Okay, so if you remember my previous weekly market outlook analysis, I have shown you that the Ethereum was lagging than the Bitcoin, and you may see a drop on Ethereum. Okay, and it exactly has done that way. So you have seen a sharp drop on Ethereum last week. And that's what I was telling you, that the Ethereum gonna drop. Well, let me find the chart. Okay, so there you got. So if you remember that comparison, the comparison which I made last week in the last weekly market outlook, that Ethereum was behind the Bitcoin, right? And told you that we may see drop on the Ethereum. So Ethereum exactly, did that the way I was telling you that Ethereum can do. So basically, the market, the crypto market is struggling, and there is potential that the crypto market still can struggle. Okay, so crypto market is not doing really well. Even stock, all right, even stock market is not doing really well. Okay, so we have seen some weaknesses in the last week, and the reason is very much simple, guys. I'm telling you that again and again. The higher inflation is causing the stock market to stay under pressure and crypto market to stay under pressure. Okay, yields pushing higher, yields, rates are at historical low levels, zero. Okay, You know that the Fed is holding, rate as at 0 levels. So you only can expect them to go higher, all right? And we are having higher inflation, 6.80 in the US, and 0 interest rates. Okay, so that's not making sense for the stock market to keep pushing more higher, or even crypto market to keep pushing more higher. So rates eventually gonna catch up the inflation, all right? So, or we can say that the Fed is, falling behind the curve. Okay, they have to raise rates, and they may raise rates quicker. So when we may see, stock market to go in a deeper correction, when Fed will start talking about to reduce its balance sheet size. Okay, when Fed will, start tightening their balance sheet size, then market may, disrupt. Okay, so if you remember that last time in the last tightening cycle we have seen in 2007, according to this chart, all right, when they started to reduce their balance sheet size, okay, then we have, seen recession in March 2020. Okay, that's the last low on the balance sheet. So March 2020 was the bottom. Okay, and since then balance sheet is just keep exploding aggressively for upside. So we are close to 9 trillion. Okay, so Fed balance sheet is close to 9 trillion. So if they're going to raise the interest rate, let's say three rate hikes are being, told at right now in 2022. So 3 rate hikes are not going to impact the market. Okay, once they're going to start, reducing their balance sheet size, obviously they're going to do that with rate hikes. Also, if they're going to do that with rate hikes and gonna be quicker, then you're gonna see that the stock market gonna start shaking. Okay, and we may see 20 or 25, or even in worst case scenario 30, 35, 40% drop again. Okay, but yes, one thing is sure and confirmed, that the drop which we are going to see, or the recession which we are going to see in next cycle, that's going to be worse. Okay, and the reason is very much simple, that the size of the market is so huge this time. Okay, when global stock market started to rise, it was at 40 trillion. Okay, 40 trillion to went up to 122 trillion. Okay, so this is a huge big T. Okay, so this is a huge market cap of global equities. Okay, so during last 2 years, so we went from 40 to 122 trillion. So when this is gonna drop, okay, so it's gonna bring a lot of pain. So we're gonna have a lot of unemployment, and people gonna have a lot of pain. So yes, this is going to come, and we'll see when it is going to come. Okay, but yes, the tightening cycle is going to start from March 2022. All right, as Fed said in their meeting minutes in last week. Okay, so let's move on. So if anyone want to join us looking for group membership, okay, just simply go to Wave Trader. All right, and if you're looking for further information, fill that form and send that form to me for further information. Okay, so you're gonna have access to the training lessons and setups as well. So training and trading both. All right, now let's move on to the setups for the next week. Okay, so we had some setups, video analysis on the YouTube, and some setups. So Ethereum, okay, so Ethereum is dropping since I posted that, and Euro Yen is setting up for a drop. We're going to talk about that. This setup is still valid. Pound dollar is also still valid. Pound yen, we are going to see big waves on these two charts. Okay, on all these, on all 3 charts, 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 charts are setting up for a big drop. Okay, so Bitcoin, reached 42 target. Okay, 30k is very much on card, so we may see 30k on Bitcoin. So this should be the Australian dollar US dollar. Okay, and Australian dollar US dollar is also setting up for another leg lower. All right, so let's move on and look at some setups here. Ethereum, as said, it was lagging, and I have explained that in my previous weekly analysis that this was lagging, and you may see drop on that. Okay, so since this previous top, it's dropping, and the reason is that the central banks are going to fight with inflation. All right, so Euro Yen is setting up for a drop. Okay, in the previous weekly market outlook, if you guys remember that, we were expecting this expanding triangle to give us this opportunity. Okay, next leg higher up to this top or new high. So we are having new high. Okay, we're gonna talk about that, what to do next. So setup is, Euro Yen is setting up for an opportunity for short. This is also setting up for short. Okay, so this is also a good chart. And Bitcoin broken down and went lower, tagged the 42k mark. Okay, now trying to find its bottom over there, but struggling. Okay, so struggling, and I'm not anticipating this to rise. Okay, right now. So we're gonna talk about that, what to do. So Aussie Yen is also a good chart to watch. So it's heading, and we're gonna talk about the updated chart as well. So Cad Yen is also setting up for a drop. Okay, we're gonna talk about that too. Pound Yen, again, if you remember the previous analysis on the Pound Yen, okay, if you have seen that video, then we were, the previous video analysis was, were these two videos, all right? So where we were expecting Pound Yen to at least, retraced up to, 70% or 80% of the previous bearish wave. So it has retraced. We are having daily wave or daily correction, we can say that. And again, it's setting up for similar wave, the wave which we have seen previously in October and November. So right, those months. All right. So Pound Yen is also setting up for a drop, for this big drop to the downside. I'm gonna talk about that too. So dollar yen too. Okay, so we were expecting dollar yen to drop after going this much higher in the previous weekly market outlook analysis and then drop. Okay, so it slightly went higher. Okay, why dollar yen is rising? Okay, so reason is very much simple. There is no complications why dollar is rising against the yen. So we are having stock market is dropping. Okay, so last week we have seen drop almost 3.5%. Okay, drop on the Nasdaq 100 index, and the rest of the stock market is also trying to catch up the high-tech sell-off. So dollar is rising against the yen. So reason is very much simple, because we are having sell-off in the bond market, right? So, and yields pushing higher. So why yields pushing higher? Because inflation is close to 6.8. Okay, and market is expecting that Fed gonna raise the interest rate quickly. Okay, they can react to that quickly. So because of that, bond sell-off is coming. Okay, yields pushing higher, and dollar is taking edge. Okay, dollar is taking edge of that higher yield. Okay, and pushing higher. So in longer term, all right, so we're gonna see drop on the dollar yen. Dollar yen is not going to sustain its trend for longer term, for upside. Okay, so what we may see from the Fed, okay, Fed can raise interest rate in March, okay, then maybe in June, all right, and then they can pause on. Okay, we may see 2 hikes until June, yeah, and then they can pause on, and at the end of the year, then they can raise the interest rate again for 3rd time, okay, and then they can pause on for longer term. Okay, so that's dollar yen, or dollar is pricing in for those hikes, for those rate hikes. Okay, and after that we may see sell-off on the dollar. All right, after that we may see sell-off on the dollar when Fed gonna pause the hiking cycle. All right, so until then, dollar gonna price in. All right, and gonna start the way, if you remember the New Zealand dollar, okay, when New Zealand bank was saying that they're gonna raise the interest rate because of the higher inflation, they raised the interest rate, and after that, dollar yen, since they finished their hikes, all right, the first hike, since then New Zealand dollar is falling. against the dollar. So that's going to happen with the dollar too. When Fed going to pause the hiking cycle, then you're going to start to see some, pressure on the dollar. Okay, so the longer term, opportunity going to be to the downside on the dollar yen. So buying is almost done. Okay, when price was sitting over there within these areas, okay, and that was the time to buy the dollar against the yen. So it's almost, about to end its bullish cycle, we can say that. All right, now let's start from the dollar index. All right, so dollar index is in a correction. Okay, so nothing has changed on this bigger weekly time frame. We are still looking this to just keep rising and tag that pre-pandemic levels. Okay, so if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, so in the last weekly market outlook, we were expecting a leg lower, okay, from there, this wave, and then continue to keep breaking for more upside. Okay, so we have seen that leg, then that leg, okay, but price again went into a bigger correction, okay, because of the year end. So it's still setting up for, this triangle is still setting up for breakout for more upside. So if I'm gonna bring out my indicator, so next week, or when market gonna open, you are looking this trade, okay, this trade. So price to hold that previous bottom and go back up that trade. All right, and once price gonna come close to this top, you are looking this to go and visit this top, this previous top. Okay, from that top we may see another leg lower, okay, and price can go into a bigger daily correction. This is actually a daily correction for more upside. So for next week, the trade, you are looking this. Okay, so if price break through that low and slightly extend lower, so still gonna be this opportunity. Okay, this is not the opportunity you should look for downside. Okay, and as long as price stay within that triangle, okay, so you are looking this triangle to break up. So this is not going to drop. Okay, dollar index is not going to drop as long as Fed is saying that they are hawkish, okay, and looking to raise the interest rate. All right, so this is not a sell opportunity. Do not buy the euro, right? Do not buy the euro against the dollar. So when we may see some strength on the euro, when ECB is going to see that yes, they are having higher inflation and looking to raise the interest rates, then you may expect euro to do something. Okay, until then we are having divergence. Okay, Fed and ECB, both banks are going in a different direction. Okay, so ECB is still holding the ultra loose monetary policy, easy monetary policy. All right, not doing anything. But Fed is ending their QE program quicker as they said before, and looking to raise the interest rate. So two different directions. Both banks are going into two different directions. So the longer they're gonna go, all right, so the spread gonna be wider between the euro and dollar. So we may see more downside on the euro dollar rather than upside. Okay, so dollar index also gonna go higher. All right, so that's what you are looking on the dollar index. So if I'm gonna bring the euro there, so euro to just invert. Okay, so same like the previous weekly market outlook, you are looking this daily correction to break down. Okay, and as said in the previous weekly market outlook, that the longer term target going to be the 7 or 8. Okay, and we may see slightly a push up. Okay, price slightly can go higher. Okay, or in worst case scenario is the 70. Okay, I'm not anticipating euro dollar to go that much far away. Okay, retracement up of this bearish wave, the way we have seen retracement on the pound dollar. Okay, so if I'm gonna bring the pound dollar is retracing almost 70%. Okay, there we can see. So we are having a very strong correlation between the euro dollar and the pound dollar. So it's retracing up to 70% of that previous wave. All right, so I'm not anticipating euro dollar to retrace up to that much far away, but in case if euro dollar is going to do that, so this is going to be a sell opportunity for longer term. Okay, if this is going to come, I'm not anticipating. In case if it comes, then this is going to be the opportunity for longer term for up to 107. So you are looking simply price action there. So same analysis is applied on the DXY as well. So you are looking this trade next week. all right, not break up. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, you are simply looking for price to slightly push more higher and tag that top and then start going lower. All right, so there is possibility that the price not gonna even test that top and gonna drop before that. So for that, you need to watch price action, and once price gonna start falling, then you are looking this to break down. So the short-term trade gonna be this, okay, up to that trend line, and once that trend line gonna break down, this is gonna be the medium-term target. Okay, this is the price. This is where you are looking price to tag. All right, this area. So this is the trade for next week. So in case if slightly go and break that top, this is not going to change that bigger structure anytime soon. Okay, the worst case scenario is that we need a very sharp breakout. I'm not anticipating that, but once you're gonna go for this short-term sell opportunity, okay, so make sure you keep that you know, thing in mind and risk accordingly. Okay, that the price can break out and can visit over there, because you are selling at the bottom. So keep that thing in mind. The dollar chief, as said in the previous weekly market outlook, is a longer term buy opportunity back to that top. All right, so that's the structure is showing. So last week we were expecting it to either break up, all right, or go down and test this previous low and then go higher. So it went, all right, and what you are simply looking this to continue its trend, okay, next week all the way back to that top and longer term for upside. This is not at a best place where you can jump into the market and can look for this to continue to keep pushing more higher. All right, so you can trade, but trade with carefully. All right, or let the price tag that bottom again and then start rising again for upside. Okay, so keep eye on these previous lows for more upside. Okay, not a best chart for me. Dollar chief is not a best chart right now. All right, so Australian dollar. So we were expecting Australian dollar to correct in this video. You're gonna see that you know what we were expecting, okay, and what was the trade next after having that daily correction. Okay, so if you're gonna watch that video, you're gonna understand that what has happened, all right, and what you are looking right now. So when price was there at that low, all right, at this area, so hopefully you remember that we were expecting this daily correction to appear over there. So that daily correction is almost done. So and price is right now struggling under those moving averages, okay, and is just simply going down. So the in the previous, you know, weekly market outlook, we were expecting this lag. Okay, hope you remember that, this lag price to hold that and you know, hold that previous low and go and give us that move. So we have seen that wave, okay, and then we were expecting a price, once price gonna finish that move, price to visit that 41, all right, 41 of this impulse. So price, you know, completed that 41 area, all right, and in worst case scenario, visit up to this 70% of this previous impulse. So you know, it started to drop from 41 area. So that's the previous. What's next? Chart is very much simple and telling you that what to look for next. Okay, so the next is the trade all the way back to this previous low. We were expecting that to come out during the non-farm payroll. Numbers were not good, even though market was expecting that numbers going to be good on the non-farm payroll, but numbers were not good. All right, numbers were bad. So because of that, we have seen, you know, drop first and then price managed to get back within that expanding triangle. And even I have, you know, mentioned to you that, guys, if it doesn't continue, then look for this to form that expanding triangle. All right, so simply when market gonna open, you are looking this short-term trade back to this low and all the way back to this is the trade. Okay, this is the trade you are looking for next week. So what is the worst case scenario on the Australian dollar? Okay, worst case scenario is that the price can correct over there and slightly can push higher. Okay, let's talk about this retracement. Okay, so it can retrace up to 50% of this previous move. All right, this previous move, there the moving averages are just coming over there. Okay, so slightly can extend over there up to those moving averages or 50%, and then again can start falling over there. So we'll show you the example. Okay, the example we are having here. Okay, so price, formed that correction, broken up, went beyond the moving averages, then retraced almost 50% of this previous move, okay, and then start falling. So this is what you are looking on the Australian dollar. Okay, so we are having that expanding triangle on the Australian dollar, US dollar. All right, but price did not continue there and broken up. So you keep in mind that scenario, okay, on the Australian dollar when you're going to start selling that. So this is the move you are looking on the Australian dollar, US dollar for the next week. All right, that's the trade. All the way back to that low. So your first target going to be the previous low, this low. Okay, so New Zealand dollar is not a best pair. Okay, so I would suggest you to just simply stay away. Do not trade on this pair next week. Okay, but in longer term, I'm anticipating this will just keep the trend intact and keep dragging lower. For short term, not a best pair. Okay, for short term, this to just keep dragging lower. Okay, this is not a 70-bit move, and risk is very much high. So better not to chase that. Let that do what it is going to do. Okay, so what is the worst case scenario for upside? Okay, it can push up like that. Okay, and then again can drop. Okay, this ABC move can appear over there. Okay, then it can again drop. So this is what you are simply looking for the next week. Okay, in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting this expanding triangle formation to continue. So we had seen that wave, but we didn't see, all the way retracement up to that 70%. We have seen just 41 of this previous move, okay, and then price again started to drop. So we were expecting that drop when it was happening. It's happening and almost gone more than 50%, okay. So not a best pair to look for next week, right? But that's what you are expecting, the way I have just explained. All right, so dollar CAD. All right, so let me bring the chart. So last week we were expecting dollar CAD to drop for one more bearish wave. We were expecting dollar CAD to drop, so we are within that lag right now, okay, and that lag has extended all the way up to this low. Even we were expecting it to extend that much far away, right? So that has extended up to that much far away. So if you have traded or still looking to trade on it for more downside, this is not at a best place where you can sell it for more downside. Okay, we may see more downside, all right, slight more drop on it, okay, but I'm expecting it to find its floor somewhere there within these areas, okay, or slightly push more lower, and that's going to be the trade. All right, so that's going to be the wave on this daily time frame. So price slightly can break down and can go lower up to that trend line. So or let's there, you're going to understand it really well. Okay, so 70% retracement, similar like the way pound dollar has done, all right, or doing right now. Okay, so 70% retracement of this previous wave. So pound dollar is just testing that top and setting up for this drop. So when you're gonna go for the sell on the dollar CAD or buy, all right, buy on the dollar against the CAD, then make sure there is a small room. We may see more downside on the dollar CAD before we're gonna get that trade. Okay, so if I'm gonna look at this chart on lower time frame, so what you are looking next week, simply price to just bounce off. Okay, bounce off, correct, and continue to keep pushing more higher. That's going to be the trade. All right, so the important chart to watch when you're going to start buying the dollar against the CAD is the oil. Okay, I'm expecting oil to drop next week. Once you see that the oil is dragging lower aggressively, sharply, okay, then start looking for buy on the dollar CAD wherever it is. Okay, if it is there or there at 70%, okay, wherever. So this is going to be the wave you are looking. So wave might be a slow, not aggressive, okay, but the buy opportunity. Okay, so it's setting up for a buy opportunity. So the short opportunity which was appearing over there, we were expecting that to drop. All right, that has happened. Okay, extended more all the way up to 26. So we were expecting it to extend up to that. All right. So that's the dollar CAD and pound dollar. Okay, so easy and simple chart. No, no confusion or no, this chart is not complex. So if you want to understand that, what to look for, you can watch that video, right? So this is the daily chart. Okay, price struggled under those moving averages, those moving averages 3 times, you can say that. Okay, this is the 4th time. This is also a signal for sell for the short side. All right, for this to change, price need to rise very, very aggressively for more upside. Okay, again, for that move to come out, there must be a reason, fundamental reason for that move to happen. Okay, Bank of England has already raised the interest rate. All right, you can expect Fed to stop, not to raise the interest rate, or Bank of England to raise the interest rate quicker than the Fed. So a scenario which is not possible, all right, because we are having higher inflation in the US than the UK. All right, and even UK has raised the interest rate, so that's causing the pound to go higher for that wave. So the next move is simply that. Okay, you are not looking that to happen. So even indicators are giving you signal, nice sell signal over there. Okay, and this is what you are looking, what to look for. So just simply look at that head and shoulder pattern formation. Okay, so I'm going to show you that head and shoulder pattern formation on many charts. Okay, this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and this is your right shoulder. Okay, so when market going to stop, you are simply looking this to drop sharply. Okay, so this is going to be the short-term trade. Back to this low, and the sharp break to come, correct, keep dragging lower. So if I'm gonna look at these charts side by side, then you're gonna get the idea what you are looking. Okay, so you had almost a similar structure on these both charts. All right, both seem similar structure. All right, so head and shoulder formation we can see there. All right, there head and shoulder formation appeared over there, then price started to fall aggressively. This is what you are looking on the pound dollar. Okay, a sharp sell off there. Right, price almost formed head and shoulder formation, then you are looking this to be sharp. Okay, then keep correcting like the way it has done over there, then another correction. Okay, and keep doing all the way back to the previous bottom, daily bottom. All right, so in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting that expanding triangle to rise, okay, at least up to this area or break that top. So we are having that wave. Now it's setting up for a drop. Okay, this is the opportunity. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys. So the question is when you should get into the market. Okay, so it's almost at the top. If you are aggressive trader, okay, then this is the place for you to watch. Okay, and if you are not an aggressive trader, okay, and don't want to take risk until you see that yes, the trend is reversed, then let the price to fall aggressively and correct over there like the Aussie Cat has done. Okay, this might be a late, but you can confirm the trend that the reversal has happened. So when reversal going to happen, reversal not going to happen just on this pair, okay? It's going to happen across the market. So the way which I'm showing you going to be because of the risk of move, all right? So why we are having risk of move? Because, Fed is looking to raise the interest rate, all right? And the yields are pushing higher and stock is going down, all right? So that's giving us a signal that the risk of move is building over there, right? And you are looking for that. So once that sharp move going to be over there, or it's going to confirm that yes, market is already in a risk off environment, okay, and currencies are going into that direction, all right? So some equities we have already seen, you know, a drop on equities last week, all right? So if we're going to look at the Nasdaq 100 index, we have already seen drop on that, okay? And after that, we have seen drop on the S&P 500 next day last week when we got the drop on the Nasdaq 100 index rotation, yeah? In, you know, in other terms, they call that rotation. We have seen a rotation from value stock to growth stock. So because of that, we have seen weaknesses on the Nasdaq 100 index. Then that spread into the S&P 500, then spread into the rest of the equities. So drop on this, sharp sell-off, break down that channel, gonna confirm that yes, the move is on its way, all right? And you can get into the market after that. You know, once price gonna confirm the drop. Okay, so yen pairs. So daily chart I have just shown you before that. Okay, so this is what you are looking for, longer term drop. Yes, just keep in mind that you know, whenever you're gonna see strength on the yield, whenever yield gonna go higher, next week, next 2-3 weeks, I'm not anticipating yield to continue its bullish trend for more upside. I'm anticipating yield to just find its top around 180 and then start, you know, pushing lower up to 150, 155 within those areas. Okay, so drop on the yields, obviously, you know, gonna bring the dollar yen lower too. So when, you know, whenever you're gonna start looking for drop on the dollar yen, just keep in mind that yield, how yield is doing, all right? Because yield is very important for the 2022, all right? So rest of the assets. So yield is very much important. US 10-year yield. So everyone gonna look at that, how yield is going, yield is doing, all right? And the rest of the market trend gonna be based on that. So if yield is rising, the dollar yen are gonna drop. Okay, if yield is falling, dollar yen gonna be aggressive to the downside. So this is the longer term structure. You are looking dollar yen to drop, and on lower time frame, it's already correcting. Okay, so it's already correcting and trying to break down. So correction already broken down. Okay, so I'm anticipating it a bit more sharp and correct. Okay, and then you know, give us a sharp sell off to the downside. So if it doesn't continue, okay, and go for another correction like these previous one. Okay, so what I see that the dollar yen has found its top for a while over there. All right, any correction you see over there on the dollar yen going to be a short opportunity. In worst case scenario, dollar yen to just test that top, double top. Okay, double top. Okay, do not break beyond that top. Okay, double top and then start falling. So your short-term target going to be this low. All right, so short to medium term target, it has a slightly extended for more upside. So the short to medium term target is not short term target, medium term target going to be that 112. Okay, 113, 112. And in case if sell off is going to be really sharp, then you know, longer term to the downside. All right, so this is what you are looking. So double top is possible on the dollar yen. If it comes, then you are looking this to hold that previous top, 116.50, 116.40, whatever. All right, then start falling aggressively from that top. So this is what you're looking next week. Okay, so same goes with the chief. All right, so chief gonna be sensitive to the higher yields. All right, so chief must drop for longer term on higher yields. Okay, and we were expecting last week this to hold that previous top, okay, and then drop all the way back to these areas, or short-term trade up to this low. So it went for another leg higher. So it hasn't confirmed the longer-term reversal yet, okay, but the higher it goes, obviously it cannot continue its trend for more upside. It has to drop for longer term to the downside. So higher yields obviously gonna put some pressure on the chief to drop for longer term, and even, you know, Swiss National Bank is not happy with the higher, you know, higher exchange rates. So longer term still bearish, but trend is still, you know, up, we can see over there. So you need a proper, you know, aggressive sell-off over there for more downside. So I'm still anticipating that Chief Yen at least gonna visit these lows. All right, the medium-term target very much similar like the dollar yen. Okay, so that trade, to trade with care, slightly risky. Breakout is already setting up over there. Breakdown and continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, if breakout is not coming, then head and shoulder pattern formation. Okay, another lag like other yen pairs. Okay, or the way I have just shown you on the previous pair, pound dollar. Okay, head and shoulder formation. Do not break above that top and then stop falling. All right. So euro yen also going to be a good chart to watch. So if you remember that at this low, I was telling you guys you shouldn't be seller over there. Okay, this is the first pair which reached the daily target at that previous bottom. If you remember from this top, okay, we were expecting that top. And then in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting expanding triangle to hold. All right, this expanding triangle to hold and price to test that top or slightly go beyond that top. Okay, or we have seen almost a 70% retracement on this chart. Okay, the 70% retracement which I was talking about. All right, so 70% retracement is reached. So what to do next? Next is very much simple. There is head and shoulder formation. You are looking to that formation to break down and price to visit these 88. Okay, of this previous wave. So head and shoulder formation is just simply building over there. Price shouldn't break, even if it breaks above that top. Okay, so still gonna be a sell opportunity. Okay, break above, still gonna be a sell opportunity. I'm not anticipating this to break that top. All right, you can use that top for stop placement. All right, once you're gonna get in, and in case if you get stopped out, try again. Okay, to get into the market. So looking for this sharp breakout, correction. Okay, and then more downside. The chart is very much clear. And head and shoulder, you know, so head and shoulder formation is just there. All right, so you look in that pound yen, same. If you remember, we were expecting this expanding triangle in the previous weekly market outlook. Okay, so if you don't understand that, then just simply go to the previous weekly market outlook and you're gonna, you know, get the idea. Okay, this wave to happen and this to retrace up to 114 of, you know, of this 114, which comes somewhere there. Okay, at this previous top, or 70%. So it has gone beyond 70% and almost about test that previous top, which is a good sign. The higher the price goes is a good sign for shorting it again. Okay, if you have traded on that wave. So what's next? You know, this is the next. Okay, so this is the next move, and price to go all the way back to that low. Okay, so what it is doing, simply similar formation which I have just shown you on the other charts. Okay, expanding triangle. So sharp breakdown simply. All right, correct and continue. So I'm gonna show you similar structure, similar head and shoulder formation almost on all yen pairs. If anyone is going to break first, okay, that will tell you that the rest of the charts are going to break down. All right, so you can get into the trade then. So what will be the worst case scenario? Okay, so the worst case scenario that the price slightly gonna go higher like that. Okay, but this won't change that bigger move. All right, the bigger move to come, this is not going to change that. So you're still looking price to come all the way back to that previous bottom. Okay, so this wedge or head and shoulder. Okay, this wedge to break down sharply, correct. Okay, and keep dragging. Your target gonna be this, okay, this, or in best case scenario, this previous low 149. So Cad Yen, same head and shoulder formation. I don't think so I need to talk about that. It has also retraced up to 70% after forming that low. All right, so this is short-term trade, back this low, correct over there, go all the way back to that low. Okay, I think I do need to talk about that a lot. Aussie Yen already went lower. All right, so for our time frame, the trade you are looking, there is a very strong divergence on these yen pairs. Okay, do not ignore that. Yes, so you're going to see that nicely on these charts. The very strong divergence is just appearing over there. Right there you can see. So these charts are going to struggle to push more higher there too. So we don't have strong divergence on the dollar, yen, and chief yen because of all three currencies are safe haven. Okay, but we are having a very strong divergence again, the risk on currencies. So strong divergence is there, strong divergence is there, strong divergence is appearing over there. So there too. So they're not going to sustain their strength against the yen in longer term. The way policy is developing. Okay, so any mistake, as said in the previous weekly market outlook as well. So any mistake from the Fed. Okay, so what's going to be the mistake? The mistake gonna be that they're gonna raise the interest rate too quicker. Okay, that can shake the market. Balance sheet. So the most important, important thing is the balance sheet. Okay, how Fed is going to deal with that. So interest rates are secondary. So if they're gonna raise the interest rate, as I said, 2-3 times, that's not going to shake the market. So balance sheet, how are they gonna deal with that? If they're gonna reduce that quickly, that can shake the market. That might be a policy mistake, and that can shaken the stock market sharply to the downside. We may see worst case scenario. Okay, so same goes with these charts. So head and shoulder formation, they are also went higher. Okay, nothing complex or new on these charts. So they are also retracing back to that impulse. Okay, so 70% is far away. Head and shoulder formation is just appearing over there. You are looking this short-term trade, and in best case scenario, all the way back to that low. Okay, so this head and shoulder formation. Okay, price to all that previous top. You can put your stop loss over there and price to break that flag. Okay, sharply, and then continue to keep dragging lower. So use reasonable risk reward ratio. All right, so same goes with this chart. Norwegian Corona also went higher. You see that I'm showing just one pattern on all these charts. So you got expanding triangle or contracting, you can say that, or ABC, whatever. Next leg appeared over there, almost 70% retracement of that previous wave. Head and shoulder formation is just appearing over there. That should be the top. Okay, and slightly can push higher. Sharp breakdown, correct over there, and continue. That's going to be the target. Okay, or in best case scenario, this is going to be the target. Okay, all these setups are setting up very nicely over there. Okay, so this is also same, but slightly different. Okay, behaving like the pound yen chart. Okay, so looking for this to continue to keep dragging lower all the way. Not a best chart right now, but that's what you're looking. Okay, so Bitcoin. So the charts which I have just shown you are these. Okay, yen pair. So those are the charts, the important charts you are watching for next week. All right, so what to expect from Bitcoin next week? Okay, so as said previously in this video, that there are a lot of buyers sitting over there around 40. Okay, so you are looking for that 40 to clear. Okay, sharp breakdown of that 40. That 40 area. So price to break down that 40. This mark. Okay, so sharp breakdown, correct, and keep dragging lower. So sharp breakdown of that 40 will drag Bitcoin to all the way back to that low. Okay, I'm anticipating this to finish this move, finish that part of the chart at this area, and then we may see, 70% retracement of this. We'll see how that 70% retracement gonna look like, you know, of this previous move, right? Like the way yen pairs are doing right now. Okay, so we may see that, you know, 70% retracement on Bitcoin. Okay, so it's too early to say that 70% retracement, but that might be a buy opportunity from 30K. Okay, so is it possible for this to rise for that 70% retracement from this area? All right, yeah, but I'm not anticipating this. Okay, to go that up to 60 again, so I'm not anticipating. So we may see, you know, buy opportunity from 30K. So we'll update once I will see that that's coming. Okay, I will update, we'll let you know that, guys. Setting up. So as said, there are a lot of buyers sitting over there at you know, 40K. You want to see aggressive sharp breakdown from there. Yeah, aggressive sharp breakdown of that correction. Okay, so why we are having that correction? Because, you know, those buyers are trying at 40K. They are trying to reverse the trend. Okay, but as said, smart money is not there yet. Okay, we can say that some retail traders are trying to push the market upside. If I'm going to look at the market cap, there. So it has lost almost 540 B, all right? So from 1.30. So 800 billion left. Okay, so almost, you know, lost, you know, 40% of its market cap. Okay, and there is possibility that it can go up to, you know, yes, 1 hour time frame, it's on a head and shoulder, and even on 4 hour time frame, all charts are forming head and shoulder. So yen pairs, so you know, it can lose up to 800 billion. So that's worse. All right, so worst case scenario, those who are, you know, dip buyers are buying the dips in, you know, since crash, you know, now they are in pain and crying. We can see them clearly. Okay, because they were just blindly keep buying and buying. Okay, and still holding and keep buying the dips, right? And having pain. All right, so that's what you are looking. Breakdown. Okay, yes, let me tell you what is the if 40 is not going to break. Okay, so 40 is not going to break, then we may see that lag. All right, so very much similar like that, back to that 52 area. Then again, this is going to be a sell opportunity. That expanding triangle formation, I'm not anticipating, but if that's going to come, so keep your analysis simple and stick to the moving averages. Okay, price can visit those moving averages. So my time frame is the 8 hour. Okay, before that I was showing you 4 hour time frame at this area, if you remember. Okay, so 4 hour time frame, so price, you know, went for a bigger correction. All right, so worst case scenario for this one more up lag. Okay, and this is gonna give some relief to the buyers, those who are just keep buying blindly. So right now I don't see that move is coming over there. Okay, because, you know, buyers are not so strong, and fundamentally this move is not being supported by fundamentals. All right, so fundamentals are supporting breakout of these corrections for more downside. Okay, so 40K needs to clear, and once 40K gonna clear, then you're gonna see that the price may crash again sharply, something like that. Okay, that crash may happen again. So it's not ready for buy. Some people are just blindly buying, all right, without understanding that what this is doing. They just keep buying, all right. What fundamentals are appearing over there, and why price is crashing. I said that before, as I said earlier. Okay, so Bitcoin is rising because of the inflation. Okay, it was rising because of the Bitcoin was not the only asset which was rising. Okay, there are many other assets which were, which were rising. Even Fed's balance sheet was rising. Okay, because Fed was printing money. Okay, and that was, leading every single assets to rise, because they were trying to create inflation. All right, they have created inflation 6.80. Now they are trying to contain that. So assets, those who have extended a lot, they are losing their value quickly. Okay, so now they are fighting against the inflation. Central banks are fighting against the inflation, so that's causing it to drop. So understand that why it is dropping, rather than just blindly putting your indicators on chart, drawing some random lines, and just buying based on guesswork. So buying based on guesswork is not going to work. Okay, so as long as you understand the reasons. Okay, so once you understand the reasons, then you're going to see that yes, it's time to buy or sell what. Okay, so understand the logic, why it's happening. So as said, Fed is going to be super hawkish for 2022. All right, they're already giving signal. There is no way else for them. Okay, so they have to be hawkish for 2022 to contain the inflation. So if they're not going to do that, they're going to hold on. Inflation going to keep pushing more higher. Okay, if inflation going to keep pushing more higher, they're going to be more pressure on them from government sides and from their peoples. All right, they're going to put pressure. What they are doing, people struggling, blah blah blah. Right, so they have no option left. They have to go and fight with inflation, and the assets which have extended a lot, they have to come down. All right, so this is what you are looking. So Ethereum, as said in the previous weekly market outlook, Ethereum to drop. Okay, so it's dropping, and what you are looking at daily correction. Okay, so this is going to be the target. So Ethereum is going to test that. No question about that. Ethereum, the first target. Okay, this is the first target, which was the 42 on the Bitcoin. So which is 26 there on the Ethereum. So go in a small, it is already in a small 4-hour time frame correction. Okay, if it gets bigger, then price to just break down and continue to keep dragging lower. First this and then previous low. So what to look for? Just simply look at your indicators. Okay, what they are doing right now. Okay, so 4-hour time frame correction was there. The daily chart which has just shown you, you are looking at another one to appear over there and break down, and moving averages to hold that correction and continue to keep dragging more downside. Okay, so US 10-year yield, which was making headlines last week. Okay, so I'm anticipating this to go down next week. Okay, so we may see drop on it for next couple of days. The way my structure is showing, US 10-year yields to do that. So drop on this, right, will bring some strength on the yen, and there might be a buy the dip opportunity on some indices, not across the market, on some indices like tech stock. Okay, we may see some strength on the tech stock. So this is what you are looking on the US 10-year yield. So I'm anticipating more upside. Okay, I'm anticipating another correction. What's going to be the worst case scenario on the US 10-year yield? The worst case scenario is going to be that this is going to hit the 2. Okay, another a 25 basis point run. Okay, that can happen. All right, the worst case scenario. That's the worst case scenario. I'm anticipating this to just fall back and give us a triangle formation like this. Okay, ascending formation. Okay, and then continue to keep pushing more higher. So this is what you're looking. So Nikkei index, as said in the previous weekly market outlook, Nikkei index to drop. Okay, from there we were expecting it to drop. It slightly went higher after dropping. Okay, slightly went higher, but then again went for a bearish wave. So next week, we don't have a perfect opportunity on the Nikkei index. Okay, so Nikkei index will just correct and keep dragging lower all the way back to that previous low or 88. Okay, or go more downside, test this previous low and then give us a buy opportunity over there for more upside. Okay, that's the bigger structure, daily structure. Okay, so go and hold the previous low and then go back up. Okay, so because inflation during the recession, when we had a recession in March, okay, inflation went to negative, went to zero, right? So when inflation is close to zero, then there is no growth. Okay, so you have to create inflation to bring the growth back. All right, so that was the reason they were trying to create inflation. Now they have their longer term goal is 2%. Okay, so they inflation to keep, you know, in control close to 2%. Okay, but it has gone beyond 2%. All right, so they will bring inflation back to 2%. Okay, that's why they are trying to raise the interest. They are saying that they're going to raise the interest rate to contain that. So S&P 500. Okay, so S&P 500 is also going in corrections. If I'm going to bring the daily chart, so price is simply in a bigger daily correction. Okay, so there you can see that the trend is nice and is being held. Okay, and this to break down up to this area 45. Okay, so the exact number is going to be there on your okay, so the price can extend up to this area, so that's going to be great if it extend up to 45. Okay, it has the potential to extend up to 45. This drop, the drop which is just happening over there. Okay, 886 of this previous move, which comes over there at 45. Okay, so drop on this will give us the waves which I have shown you on the yen pairs. Okay, it has already started that, you know, drop. So go more downside, keep you know, dropping. Okay, correct over there for an expanding triangle and drop more. Go all the way back to that low, or in best case scenario that, and then buy the dip opportunity gonna come over there. Okay, back to that top. So you shouldn't miss that opportunity. So what's gonna be the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario gonna be that we're not gonna have dip up to this area and price gonna, you know, manage to rise from there. Okay, it can start pushing more higher from 70% of this previous move. All right, so I'm not anticipating a huge drop on this. Okay, I'm just anticipating it to drop up to 6.5%. Okay, or at least, you know, 6% up to these areas, then give us a buy the dip opportunity. Okay, so the trend line I have drawn over there are these arrows. Okay, we may see buy the dip opportunity over there, but these are not the best place where you should look for buy the dip opportunity. Okay, so simply look for this daily chart. Okay, so daily chart price to dip. Okay, so at these areas, okay, these areas price to go below slightly those moving averages, and that buy the dip opportunity. All right, so good luck. And if you are buying the S&P 500, then yes, DXY gonna be bullish. Let's just talk about the setups, and once we're gonna find some time, we will talk about the questions. Okay, so there we can see it has almost retraced more than 88 Nasdaq 100 index. Okay, because of the rotation, 88% of this previous move, so it dropped more. Okay, so other indices are within that you know, drop yet right now. So you are looking others to finish. So a price slightly can go, you know, slightly can go lower. Okay, but this is setting up for a buy the dip opportunity. Okay, this is what I was talking about the S&P 500. All right, so this is testing, you know, the previous low like it has done there. Okay, or it has done there. But next week you are looking this to slightly go more lower and continue its trend for upside. Okay, why is that? The question is, why S&P 500 to drop and Nasdaq 100 index to continue to keep rising? Okay, so the chart which I have shown you on US 10-year yield, Okay, if we see a drop over there, okay, if yield start falling, okay, I'm anticipating US 10-year yield to fall. Okay, if US 10-year yield start falling, then people, investors, they can start running after the quality stock, okay, and the quality stock gonna push Nasdaq 100 index higher for another leg. All right, they're gonna go the rotation which we had last week, that can reverse. Okay, if that rotation reversed, S&P 500 gonna maintain its bullish trend, and other indices gonna drop. They're gonna finish their bearish move and then gonna find its bottom, as I have shown. Okay, and then they're gonna continue its bullish trend for more upside. All right, hope that makes sense. So why Nasdaq 100 index is dropping? Because of the rotation, higher yields, yield pushing higher, the rotation coming, people are selling the value stock and running after the growth stock. Okay, that's causing the Dow to stay bullish, keep pushing more higher. Okay, Dow is not dropping yet, all right, but Nasdaq dropping, S&P 500 is also dropping. So when that rotation gonna reverse, yield's gonna drop, you're gonna see Nasdaq 100 index gonna stop pushing more higher. Okay, people gonna reverse that rotation. They're gonna stop, going back to the value stock. Okay, gonna stop buying the growth stock, and gonna see that, oh, yield is not pushing higher. We are still within that environment, the environment which we had, or we can say that another uncertainty can appear over there. Last time we had Omicron. All right, so we may have another kind of uncertainty which can cause the Fed to delay or go slow, Fed to go slow. All right, so hope that makes sense. So we have seen that already. So Cad Chief is just pushing higher. So Cad Chief to retrace up to 70%. Okay, not a best chart to trade. All right, so we may see this to push more higher. Okay, up to 70% of this previous wave, like other pairs have done. Okay, and then again drop all the way back to that low. So not a best chart right now. All right, so more upside. So Cad Yen is very much similar like the previous weekly market outlook. We are looking for a longer term run on it. Okay, this previous move. So you are looking, this to finish its bearish wave at this previous low. Okay, this to continue, not a best chart again. Okay, but once price gonna test that low or gonna form new low, then this is gonna be the opportunity to catch back to that top or longer term buy opportunity. Okay, so one more leg lower to happen. So pound chief is very much similar like the pound dollar chart. All right, so you are looking price to hold that daily moving averages and then simply drop from there next week. All right, so what it is doing, it is also retracing 70% of this previous bearish wave. All right, and slightly can push more higher before we're gonna see drop. Okay, this is the trade, price to go back and test that previous low again. All right, so that's the pound chief. So euro pound is also a good chart to watch. Okay, in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting it to either break up or go down for another leg lower. Okay, so we are having another leg lower. So for next week, you are simply looking for this to bounce off aggressively, sharply. It's trying to find its bottom, but still struggling. Okay, so it can, slightly push more lower up to this low, up to 80, 83. Okay, I'm not anticipating this to push up to that much far away, 83, but when you're gonna start looking for buy, keep that thing in mind. All right, so this is what you are looking, simply price to just rise, correct, go back up. All right, so double bottom is already appeared over there, or double top, we can say that, like other chart, or head and shoulder formation. All right, so if I'm gonna, the charts which I have just shown you on yen pairs, all right, so you have already seen head and shoulder formation, shown you head and shoulder formation. You are looking at the head and shoulder formation, or triple top, we can say that triple top to hold, or bottom, triple bottom. Okay, and then drag lower this correction. If I'm gonna bring it back, triple bottom. Okay, triple bottom to hold, and price to just simply, for these corrections to break, the correction which is just already appearing over there, correct, go back up. So good chart to watch. Every time, as said before, every time when this chart tests the previous low or form new low, you are looking this to continue to keep pushing more higher. So that's the wave you are looking. And if stock market is going to crash, okay, in case, I mean, I'm not anticipating, but in case, okay, then this to go all the way back to that top. Okay, all the way back to that top. So pound Australian dollar. So last week in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting a wedge formation over there. Okay, this to go down there, go down, new low. Let me draw it right way. Okay, this flat formation to keep dragging lower, another correction, okay, and then drag, then form that, and then continue to keep rising. Okay, so we didn't see that move. We all the way back to that low. We have seen that move, but price was struggling, okay, and then broke out and then maintained its trend for more upside. So we were expecting that move to come, okay, but after farming, new leg lower. All right, another leg lower. So right now, this is not a simply best chart to trade for either direction. Move the wave which I was talking about in the previous weekly market outlook, that has happened. Okay, but it didn't, you know, we didn't see another leg lower there. So you shouldn't chase that pair. If you are going to sell, there is a potential that the price can continue to keep pushing more higher all the way back to the previous top. Okay, so risk is very much high to get that trade. Those who trade based on support and resistance, they may see setup over there for downside, okay, for selling it. But right now, it still can push more higher all the way up to 92. So you shouldn't go against that trend. So what I'm anticipating right now, I'm anticipating a correction over there. Okay, it's tradable but risky. It carry risk. So if it makes sense for you, you can trade on that. Okay, but right now this is not the best chart to trade either direction. Not for this move. Okay, not for that move. Okay, I have shown you many good charts to trade for next week. So it's up to you. Okay, I'm anticipating that correction to come out. Okay, so same goes to this chart. All right, so there we were expecting it to form another leg lower up to this area and then continue its bullish trend. Okay, unfortunately we didn't see that one more leg lower. Okay, and price broke out and went higher. So we were expecting that wave to come out too on this chart. So we have seen same thing happen here. We didn't see another leg lower. So wicks to drop up to 16. Okay, so less likely. Okay, as said, the wave hasn't appeared yet. The wave which was trying to appear over there last week, it hasn't appeared over there yet. All right, and the way I have explained the S&P 500 and other assets, then wicks may push more higher rather than going to 16. All right, right now it is at 21, so it can spike up for more upside up to 27. Okay, it can go up to 27, 26 within these areas rather than going down. Okay, so wicks can go higher rather than going down. All right, so you are expecting this to correct same way like pound Australian dollar and pound CAD to do that. Okay, so wedge is already telling you what to do. All right, so I'm anticipating pound CAD to slightly go more lower like that. Okay, or in best case scenario, pound CAD can go all the way back to that low, 88. Okay, so it has already broken down. Double top is already formed over there like other charts. Okay, broken down, and correction is appeared over there. Okay, this to drag more, correct over there, and keep dragging lower all the way back to that low, or go back up for another leg like that and form head and shoulder formation like other pairs. Okay, and then drop. Okay, so Euro Australian dollar in the previous weekly market, this is what I was showing you in on the pound Australian chart. Okay, so we have seen this simple flat formation. Okay, we were expecting this next leg lower to appear over there. We have seen over there, we have seen, wedge. Okay, this is the wedge which I was expecting to appear over there on the pound Australian dollar chart. So we haven't seen that next leg lower there on the pound Australian dollar chart. Okay, so pound Australian dollar chart did correction and then took off, and testing that top. Okay, so you are still there to catch that move. Get back to that top. So we were expecting it to break out from the lows, yeah, in the previous weekly market outlook even. Right, so this is the chart. Okay, so we were expecting it to go all the way up to 618, all right, or the way it has done right now. Okay, and then this wedge, okay, the wedge to break out for more upside. The price is already set for that. And the next chart is this. Okay, so it's heading higher for the next move. So you missed the trade in the pound Australian dollar. Okay, so this chart is still there to give you some, return. So what you are looking, simply, if I'm gonna pull out your moving averages, make it more simple for you. Okay, right now correction has already appeared over there. We were expecting that correction to form, to come out over there. It has already appeared and broken out. Right now it's pushing more higher, but you shouldn't chase that at these areas. Okay, so you should look for another leg lower, like Australian dollar, US dollar has done. Okay, and this expanding triangle to form. Again, price moving averages to hold, and next leg to continue to keep pushing more higher for more upside. All right, so has a potential. Euro Australian dollar has a potential, and you're looking, this is going to be the target, 60, 150. So Aussie Chief to just go down. Okay, that's the simple chart. So Aussie Chief to break down and continue to keep dragging lower all the way. So slightly can push more higher back to that top. Okay, and then drop. So short opportunity. Euro New Zealand dollar also going higher. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Another leg lower possibility exists over there. I'm not anticipating, simply. All right, so in the last weekly market outlook, we were expecting this one more leg to appear over there. All right, like that, for flat formation, and price to hold that and continue to keep pushing more higher. So it held that previous low and pushing more higher. So simply you are looking these corrections to break out and Euro New Zealand dollar to push more higher. So if it gets bigger, okay, and test that low, still gonna be a buy opportunity for more upside. Okay, and your target gonna be these areas. Okay, these areas. This is gonna be the target. This is what you're looking. That's the target. Okay, so pound gained significantly against the New Zealand dollar and Australian dollar. All right, but euro hasn't gained yet. So these are the opportunities you should look for. Euro against the Aussie, euro against the Kiwi. Okay, so Chief 2, not a best chart right now. Okay, but this is what you're looking, flat formation. So Kiwi Chief is struggling more in a sideways market. Okay, but I'm anticipating this to break down the previous low and continue to keep dragging more lower. So this is the flat formation you are looking for next week. Kiwi Cad has already done the wave, all right, and yeah, quickly moving to the downside. This is what you are looking, slightly a risky chart to buy. Okay, it's because buy is not ready yet. Okay, but they're going to be a buy opportunity. Okay, it hasn't finished its bearish move. All right, so slightly can go more lower before going to give us a buy opportunity back to that top. So yes, this is the upper, it's setting up for that move. Okay, but buy is not ready yet. It's not ready for the buy. All right, so same goes with the Aussie Cad. Okay, so if I'm gonna bring the Aussie Cad chart, and even in the previous weekly market outlook, I have spoken about that buy leg. Okay, the buy leg which was appearing over there from the floor to finish back to the previous top. Okay, this previous top, this leg to finish back to that previous top, or 886 of this previous move. Okay, so your fib is already there. So 88 of this previous move and then drop. So it finished at 886 of the previous wave and then started to drop. Okay, so yes, got that chart. So there. All right, so we were looking for that to continue its bearish trend, more downside, and then correction appeared. All right, and then looking for that correction to continue. Okay, so yes, by looking at these charts, hopefully you got the idea that what price was doing, okay, from this previous low. All right, and where were the opportunities? Okay, so if you're gonna try to chase now, you know, miss the most of the move. Okay, so the most of the wave has just gone, so you shouldn't chase that now, okay, because it has gone and is about to test that previous low. So if you are already caught that trade from these previous highs, then you're simply looking correction and continuation for more downside, and then again form new low or test the previous low and then retraced. Okay, correction, continuation, and then again start looking for this to reverse back within the bigger expanding wedge or channel, whatever you want to call that. Okay, more downside still possible. All right, so those were the charts. So this is what you are looking, okay, on the yen pairs. There are the opportunities. Yen pairs are setting up for that now. All right, hope you got the point. So Aussie New Zealand dollar, okay, so this pair to also drop. Okay, so this drop may give some strength to the New Zealand dollar. Okay, New Zealand dollar may not fall aggressively to the downside, but Australian dollar can fall. That's the reason I said to you guys, don't look for any trade on the New Zealand dollar US dollar, okay, because New Zealand dollar US dollar may stay sideways, all right, rather than dropping aggressively to the downside. Okay, but Australian dollar still got a room to run. The drop on the Australian dollar will bring this down, and New Zealand dollar may stay sideways, may not move next week. Okay, so this to drop to go all the way back to that low, and then again start looking for this to go higher for longer term. Okay, so there is also a similar structure or similar pattern. Hopefully you see now, okay, that pattern, okay, and head and shoulder formation, okay, or double top right now, okay, double top, and another triple top can appear over there for more downside there, or head and shoulder, whatever you want to call that. Okay, but price to stay below that top, okay, and then drop. Okay, Euro Chief is not a best chart right now, guys, so I'm gonna ignore. All right, so as explained in the previous weekly market outlook, it's not a best chart to trade either direction, not with the trend, not against the trend. But I'm looking for a bigger daily correction. All right, so dollar peso, looking for this daily correction to break out and continue to keep pushing more higher. A sharp breakout is needed. Okay, so sharp breakout and this move. And this is the chart you should pay attention for longer term. If you are longer term trader, then this is the chart you should pay attention for longer term. Yeah, so as said in the previous weekly market outlook, as you every time when this chart goes lower, you are looking price to bounce off for longer term for upside. Okay, so it got a lot of room to run. Dollar ran against the other majors, but still sitting at the floor against the Chinese yuan. Okay, so a lot of room to run. So some kind of that way we may see aggressive runoff. Okay, so even you can trade for short term as well, rather than holding for longer term, or simply looking for new lows and looking for these short term trades. Okay, last time in the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting this expanding triangle to hold and rise. Okay, price broken down slightly, went lower, but did not below this previous impulse and then managed to get back in. Okay, this is telling us that what, you know, price gonna do longer term. People are trying to push it aggressively for upside. So right now we are not having reason. That's you know, reason means Chinese yuan still strong fundamentally, and you know, if any, you know, anything is going to happen with the China, then it's going to spike up very, very aggressively for upside. So longer term buy opportunity. All right, because it cannot stay there for longer term. It cannot stay there for longer term. So every time new low is being formed, you are paying attention and looking for, you're paying attention and looking for aggressive buying over there. Dollar Turkish lira, I'm gonna simply ignore that. Not a best chart right now. Strong volatility, but longer term bullish. Okay, so ruble bullish on dollar against the ruble, and ruble to continue to keep falling and dollar to keep rising. Not a best chart right now. Shouldn't pay attention on that chart. Oil. Okay, so oil is setting up for opportunity. All right. In the previous weekly market outlook, we were expecting that leg to come out, if you remember that. Okay, let me check if I do have any chart on it. All right, so there you got. Okay, our way before oil to do this, we were expecting it to go higher, or even way before that, we were expecting this chart, these charts. All right, so or that chart without, you know, or even way before, we were expecting that to come out. No. Okay, and when it was bouncing off from the floor for upside on a expanding triangle, we were expecting it to do this. Okay, this is a short term, one more leg lower on 1 hour time frame, and it was appearing over there at 62, and it's found its bottom at 62 and went for this. Okay, so there it found its bottom at the 62, and now it is in a this formation. Okay, so the next chart is clearly telling you the next move. This chart is clearly telling what's next. Okay, we had that wave. Okay, now it's setting up for this wave. Okay, price shouldn't go beyond that top. All right, for this wave. So last week, on last Friday, let's check this chart. Okay, so in the previous weekly market outlook, we were paying attention. I said to you guys, pay attention. Price slightly went lower. Okay, because there was a risk for another leg lower. Okay, but I wasn't, you know, in that favor. I wasn't expecting that move to come out. There was the risk for that next leg lower, but I wasn't expecting that to come out. All right, and then price slightly went lower and then found never went below this. Okay, on many charts I have said to you guys, price shouldn't go below these areas like Australian dollar, US dollar, Aussie Yen. All right, so price never went below and then managed to get back. Okay, now this move is almost completed, right? This bullish wave is almost completed. Or let's first look at these charts, and then I'm gonna go back to the chart. Okay, so all charts. So price to pay attention, came, bounced off, corrected, went higher. Okay, that's the structure which appeared over there. All right, so that's the chart without indicator, and that's the chart way before. Okay, so looking for this to drop. That drop happened back to that low. So lower time frame, 1 hour time frame. So these were the old charts. So the chart which is relevant is this. Okay, this is the relevant chart. So what is the trade? Okay, this is the trade you are looking. What happened last week on Friday? The White House said that they are watching the oil prices closely. Okay, they said that they are watching the oil prices closely. So what happened when oil prices were at that top? Do you remember? I hope you do. okay, at these areas. So countries, they released their strategic oil reserves. The US released, China and many other countries, they released their strategic oil reserves to bring the oil prices down. Okay, we have seen, drop because of that. Okay, what happened last week? OPEC said that they're gonna go their plan with their plan. Okay, and they're gonna raise the oil output. All right, they're gonna bring more supply into the market. So all these things are not bullish for the oil. Okay, so let's look at that. How many fundamentals are not supporting the more bullish run on the oil? One, which is the most important than any other. Even if OPEC countries are going to say that they're not going to raise the oil output, but if Fed is going to be hawkish and going to raise the interest rate, as said, quickly going to respond inflation quickly, then still oil gonna struggle to push more higher, right? Oil gonna drop. So Fed is very, very important than the OPEC, than the White House, or than any other. Okay, Fed is very important. So Fed is trying to bring the inflation down, oil has to go down. Okay, so White House is watching the oil prices. They're saying that they don't want a higher oil prices, okay, and they want lower oil prices. So that's also a signal that oil should stop rising. Okay, even OPEC is saying that they're gonna go with the plan and they're gonna raise the output or in February. So all these are pointing out that the oil is going to drop for one more leg lower, all the way back to 60 or 62. Okay, so in longer term, I'm expecting oil to go much lower. Okay, maybe some of you guys are not gonna stick to that. All right, I'm expecting oil to, in longer term, oil to drop all the way back to that low. Okay, but next week you are looking this to go lower, back to this low. If I'm gonna go to the lower time frame, all right, the price have retraced of this previous wave more than 70%, and it's about to tag that 88%. Okay, so there is a slight risk that the price slightly can push more higher. I'm not anticipating this. I'm anticipating that it has already found its top, all right, and it should start falling right next week. Okay, and if not, then just simply go for a double top at this area, and double top and then drop and correct over there and keep dragging lower all the way back to that low. Well, there is a correlation in the market, all right? So correlation is there, always correlation is there. So market respect those correlations. So you need to understand that, you need to grab that really well. So if you understand the correlation, then you're gonna get the idea that what's going to happen. Okay, so the question you asked, that does that means that the pound and the Aussie CAD have a relationship? I mean, from a frame relationship you did. All right, so there are some currencies which are risk on and some currencies are risk off. All right, so risk on currencies rise when inflation is higher, or when central banks are trying to create the inflation, and or we can say that in growth. Okay, when we are in a expansion cycle, the risk on currencies rise. When we are in a contracting cycle or tightening cycle, the risk on currencies drop. Okay, and safe havens rise. So vice versa, when we see risk on moves, risk on currencies rise. When we see risk off moves, the risk of currencies rise. All right, so that correlation is always there. So you need to understand that correlation before you're gonna get the idea that where these currencies gonna go. Okay, so oil is also setting up for that drop. So this is what you're looking, oil to drop, correct, and go all the way back to that low. Okay, so if it slightly push more higher, as I said, okay, go beyond that 88, the bigger picture is not going to change. The bigger picture is the bearish one. Just watch price action, put your stop behind that, and keep looking for the oil to drop for a big time to the downside. Okay, so UK or Brent is also the similar picture. If I'm gonna go to the 4-hour time frame, you are simply looking the same wave. All right, so go all the way back to that low. If I'm gonna remove that, then my chart gonna be here. Okay, so correction is already trying to appear over there. 4-hour time frame or 1-hour time frame, you are looking that to break down, correct, and go down. Okay, so breakdown on this sharp sell-off will push the dollar CAD higher. In natural gas, I'm gonna be neutral on this chart, but this is I'm expecting. So 30 Dow 30. Okay, so Dow to drop. Okay, so Dow to drop, test the previous area at 6 and then continue to keep pushing more higher. So on 8-hour time frame, it hasn't dropped yet. Nasdaq 100 index has tested that low 886. So you are looking this to drag and then again continue its trend for more upside. Okay, so same goes with the German 30 to also drop. Okay, test this previous low, keep dragging lower and then give us a dip over there. If I'm gonna look at the daily chart, okay, that's the daily chart, so that's what you're looking. So same goes with the UK 100 index. Okay, so test previous low and then continue its bullish trend. Okay, gold going in a daily correction, okay, like that. So gold can slightly push more higher. Not a best chart right now, I can say that, for a big wave. All right, so looking for this to break down and continue to keep dragging more up to this low or all the way back to that low 1680. Okay, if it doesn't break, then another leg higher and then go down. Okay, so silver too, not a best chart at the moment. Okay, but longer term continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, so copper gonna be the casualties when Fed gonna raise the interest rate. So longer term drop on the copper. So copper slightly can push more higher like that, okay, before going to drop back to these areas. So longer term bearish. Okay, these charts are not the best charts which I'm showing you, okay, right now. Okay, so yes, Russell 1000, same like other indices, drop one more leg lower back to this previous bottom. Okay, so this wave need to spread across the market next week and then continue to keep pushing more higher. So Russell 2002, yes, Russell 2000, okay, this to drop to test the previous bottom and then continue its trend. Russell 3000, okay, so Russell 3000 to drop, test the previous bottom, same like other indices, and then continue. Or like Nasdaq 100 index, Nasdaq 100 index is already testing the previous lows. Okay, Euro stock to drop, test the previous low, and then continue. So someone was asking that VIX is at 21. If VIX goes to 16, then we're not gonna have that risk on move. We're gonna have risk on move. So the way which I'm showing you on the indices, the European indices are now falling. All right, so Nasdaq 100 index is falling, S&P 500 is falling, Nikkei index 225 is falling, but the European stock is now falling because of the rotation. Okay, so yield drop, okay, yield drop will also drag the European stock, and you're gonna see that they're gonna go and test the previous low, and Nasdaq 100 index gonna go higher, and you're gonna see VIX not gonna go to 16. All right, VIX gonna go to 27 or 26. VIX gonna push more higher. So you are looking these to drop, and Frank 40 to drop too, back to that previous bottom. All right, and the stock 600 to also drop back to the previous bottom and then continue to keep pushing more higher. All right, so let's look at some cryptos. Okay, so in general, crypto to drop, that's it. Okay, so in general, crypto to drop. Okay, and Binance coin is still in lag. Okay, and I have already told you in the previous weekly market outlook that we may see that wave back to that bottom. So it's just happening right now. Okay, so if Bitcoin keeps falling, these coins not gonna sustain its trend. I have made very detailed analysis on the Ethereum and Bitcoin last week and told you that why Ethereum can fall. All right. So if Bitcoin is dropping, Ethereum is not going to rise. Why you are expecting Ethereum to rise? So since last weekly market outlook, Ethereum is falling, catching up the Bitcoin. So if you are buying the Ethereum while Bitcoin was dropping, you simply don't understand that what market is doing. All right. So others to drop to, Binance to drop to, okay, test that previous bottom. But 220, 225, there we may see, you know. Okay, so when crypto can rise for the next run? Okay, so you know, my best guess says that after June, okay, June or in August or at the end of the 2022, okay, we may see another run in the crypto at the end of the 2020. Okay, August or December going to be the timing for the next run on the crypto. Why? Because crypto going to stay under pressure while Fed going to raise the interest rate. Okay, when Fed going to pause, right? When Fed going to pause, then we may see strength on the crypto market. Okay, then crypto market start rising. So in other words, for next 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months gonna be bad for the crypto traders. So those who are holding, you have to hold for another 6 to 9 months. Okay, and then after that you may see another runoff on the cryptos. Okay, when Fed gonna pause on. So Fed pause on can come at the after the June. Okay, because it is being the Fed said that they're gonna raise the interest rate in June. Okay, but market is expecting that they're gonna raise the interest rate in March. Okay, and then they're gonna raise the interest rate for second time in June, and then they can pause on till December. Okay, and after that, when they're gonna pause on, then we may see strength in the crypto market. Okay, and till then it may struggle. Okay, that's the reason you are having a big weekly correction. Okay, this big weekly correction is just appearing over there. So there, again, total crypto total. So this is a big weekly correction is just appearing over there, and even it hasn't finished yet. Because if I'm gonna look at this, it took almost 77 days, almost we can say that 3 months. Okay, then the next cycle took almost 112 days, and we are within that cycle, so 98 days. So we may see, you know, we may see another another 3 to 4 months. All right, minimum. All right, another minimum 3 to 4 month, minimum 3 to 4 month. All right, so the next bearish this bearish cycle which we are having on the crypto can stay over there for next, you know, a 3 to 4 month at least. Okay, but the best guess which I'm doing over there is this 6 to 9 months. All right, after 6 to 9 months we may see a next run on the crypto market. So if you're holding, you have to hold for another year. All right, because some traders they just keep buying, they don't you know, sell, and even keep buying. So a lot of patience needed for that. Okay, so Binance to drop and continue but another leg higher. So this to drop to, stacks to drop to that the previous low, and then continue to keep pushing more higher. ADA, okay, ADA tested that previous low. Okay, ADA to go for in a correction and then drag another leg lower. Okay, and then we may see next leg higher. So a kind of neutral analysis, I can say there. So Lona, all right, so Terra is also, you know, Terra is behaving, you know, differently from the rest of the crypto market. All right, so still staying strong. Okay, so we may see, you know, next leg over there like that. Okay, another you know, another leg higher. All right, so price to just stay above the moving averages. That's it. Okay, for next bullish run, all those moving averages and next run like it has done there. All right, so sand, a kind of neutral analysis. Okay, it also can run for another leg higher. All right, so and the rest of the coin are still struggling. Okay, I don't see them to rise next week. Okay, all right, so I see them to just keep struggling, find their bottom at the previous lows, and then we may see, you know, some buying opportunities over there. All right, so this is also struggling. Okay, it may struggle more downside slowly the way it is doing right now, and then can push up slightly more upside like these moves. All right, so the KuCoin to drop, continue its drop, and Doge to keep struggling for more downside. I'm not anticipating Doge to do anything right now. Okay, while the rest of the market is dropping, how this is gonna behave well. So you are just simply looking to just keep struggling. All right, so struggling, find their bottom, and then, as said, next cycle. Okay, next cycle may start at the end of the year for more upside when Fed gonna pass on. All right, so Solana too. Okay, so Solana too keep dragging lower. I'm anticipating Solana to go there. Okay, they go up to 20. It's running at the 140, so I'm expecting it to go up to 20. All right, so this token too. Okay, so keep struggling for more downside and then find its bottom and go up to those tops. So let's just finish. Okay, so these coins, OITA to go down too. All right, OITA last weekly market order, we were expecting this to finish that move and then go higher. It slightly went higher. Okay, but this is not going to sustain its, you know, trend for more upside, and eventually going to end up this. So this is the place where you are looking and waiting for this to hold and medium to longer term, even longer term buy. All right, so same goes with this coin. Nothing changed. Just keep dragging more lower. Okay, correction got bigger. These coins to drop to. All right, so that low. So Litecoin also dragging more lower. Same analysis like last week. All right, so Ripple to keep dragging lower all the way back to that 50 mark. Okay, and then give you some short to medium term buy opportunities back to these areas. Okay, where the arrows are pointing. Okay, so let's just finish here. We're having, you know, more coins, but we're gonna look at them next time. So is there any question? Dot I have done. Okay, so any question, guys, let me know if you have any questions. So we're gonna talk about your question, smart money concept, and what indicator or anything that we need to use support at. So smart money is really smart. Okay, so you're not gonna get anything from indicators. So indicators are not going to tell you that what smart money is going to do. So smart money, you know, they make their decisions based on a lot of research. Okay, and when they make their decisions, we can see, okay, we can see in the market what smart money is doing right now. All right, so it's a huge market. So as said, you know, some assets are risk on, some assets are risk off. Okay, so when smart money start to play with the market or start to make decisions, okay, or let's say they, last week we have seen a drop on the Nasdaq 100 index. Okay, so that was the smart money. We haven't seen drop on the rest of the indices. Okay, but we have seen drop first on the Nasdaq 100 index. Nasdaq 100 index went lower first, and then the rest of the indices started to fall. That was the smart money. Okay, smart money started to play. They knew that what is going to come. Okay, they knew that what central banks are, what Fed is going to do. All right, that's the smart money play out. So when a particular asset play out, that tells you that where the smart money is heading. Okay, so there is a very strong correlation in the market. All right, that correlation can tell you that where they are, putting their eggs. All right, so last week after the even before the Fed meeting minutes. So Nasdaq 100 index started to fall. That was the smart money. They started to take their positions away from the high-tech stock, value stock. All right, they knew that the Fed is going to be hawkish. They already knew that Fed meeting minutes are going to be hawkish. All right, so started to drop. Nasdaq 100 index started to drop, and then that other people started to catch up. Okay, then other people started to catch up. Yes, smart money is doing this, let's just follow that, and that move started to spread slowly across the other assets. Okay, it hasn't spread across the market yet, right? But slowly building, right? And once that gonna be over there across the market, then they're gonna say that, oh, that was the reason, that was the fact, because of that we have seen this move. All right, so you're gonna listen the reasons after the move, after the wave, when wave's gonna complete it, then there are gonna be reasons. Okay, but market started to price in for that even way before that even occur. All right, so you see those moves on your charts. Okay, market already tell you that something is going to happen in the future. Okay, and market start to price in for that. Okay, so that's the smart money. Smart money already start to prepare for an event or for an uncertainty which is going to appear over there in the future. All right, so that's how smart money does. All right, they make decisions based on a lot of research. Okay, so any other thing, guys? For fundamental, fundamentals, there is no specific thing where you can learn that. There are gonna be a lot of stuff on the Google. You can just Google that and you can learn that from there. Okay, but watch what is happening in the news every day. Just watch economic news, what they are saying. All right, so once you're gonna start following the economic news, you're gonna get the idea that what kind of fundamentals are building over there. Yen, I have already shown the yen pairs. There are yen pairs, setups. Yeah, so if you want to watch that again, watch, wanna catch the yen pairs opportunities, then simply go to this recording and watch that recording again on YouTube. Nasdaq chart, I have already shown that Nasdaq chart. Yen pairs shown. Euro pound gonna be a buy opportunity. All right, so Euro pound gonna be a buy opportunity. All right, so euro pound slightly went lower. Okay, I was expecting it to push higher without going that much lower. So the lower it goes gonna be perfect. All right, and there is no problem on that. Okay, so there is no problem. The lower it goes, it's good. So normally every time when it is forming okay, so we are having that wedges way before, within these areas. Every time it's coming low and then reversing. Okay, coming low, breaking this previous low, reversing, breaking previous low and reversing. So yes, it has broken out. There should be a strong divergence on it. Right, so let me check the weekly chart. Okay, on this weekly chart, strong divergence is just appearing over there. All right, and it should rise aggressively for upside. So the lower it goes is a good sign. So it seems to me that the conditions are oversold right now. Okay, so yes, on this daily chart it's oversold and setting up for this move, right, like these previous moves. So you are looking just simply this to just bounce off, correct, and go back up similar way like it has done this, done that previously. So if already in, let's say you already into the trade, okay, and just hold on, watch it. Okay, you hold on and look for this to break out and correction. Okay, when the aggressive move gonna come out, you can add more. Okay, these are the examples. It has done exactly same way last time. Triple bottom, okay, and then correction was there, and then just taken off for more upside. Okay, so yeah, next week going to be crucial for the euro pound. Again, many pairs are almost to take out, almost to reverse. All right. So any other question, guys? Okay, so no question. Let's just finish here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys what you are looking for next week. Okay, so let's just finish here, and we'll see you back again in another analysis. See you next week, guys. So next week, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. Bye for now.